We are the Bowtie Travelers. Welcome to Buenos Aires.
Diego Maradona, Leo Messi, football, tango. These are some of the things that might come to mind when you mention Argentina or Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires combines faded European grandeur with Latin passion. Sexy and alive, this beautiful city gets under your skin.
Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina, is for good reason known as the Paris of Latin America.
With wide avenues and vibrant cosmopolitan flair, Buenos Aires is often described as Latin America's most European city.
Queen of El Plata, City of Books, the Paris of South America. Those are some of the nicknames of this amazing city, Buenos Aires.
The population is made up largely of the descendants of immigrants from Spain and Italy who came to Argentina in late 19th or early 20th century. Porteños is a term commonly used to refer to the inhabitants of the city of Buenos Aires. It literally means port city person in Spanish. Porteños and Argentinians in general tend to consider themselves European in character rather than Latin American.
I've read somewhere that residents of Buenos Aires are Italians who think they are French and speak Spanish.
We spent 3 days exploring this Paris of Latin America. In those 3 days, we mingled with locals at the Obelisco de Buenos Aires and the Corrientes Avenue. We embraced the scene of Argentinian Revolution at the Plaza de Mayo. We got lost while trying to find Recoleta Cemetery and the Evita Tomb.
No, we are just trying to find the entrance to the cemetery. We are in the Recoleta Cemetery.
We grasped the magic of Floralis Generica, the flower of hope. We became literate by exploring El Ateneo Grand Splendid, one of the biggest bookstores in South America, located in Buenos Aires, the city of books.
How many books are there in here?
We follow the route of Tango at La Boca neighborhood.
La Boca has most of Buenos Aires spirit.
We mingled with La Boca Juniors fans. We enjoyed the modern and posh atmosphere of Puerto Madero. And primarily, we took great photos. and we hope this will inspire you for your next sightseeing adventure to Buenos Aires. Day 1. Obelisco de Buenos Aires, Plaza de Mayo. Our first stop in Buenos Aires is the iconic Obelisco de Buenos Aires. It stands at the intersection of two of the city's most important streets, July the 19th Avenue and the Corrientes Avenue. The former is often credited as being the widest street in the world, with an incredible 16 lanes at some point.
16 lanes, wow! That's a wide street.
The later, Corrientes Avenue, became famous as the street that never sleeps. And it's also known as the Broadway of Buenos Aires, home to sexy tango clubs, famous theaters, and late-night cafes. The street is intimately tied to the tango and the porteño's sense of identity. Soaring 67 meters above the oval Plaza de la República, the Obelisco de Buenos Aires was erected in 1936 on the 400th anniversary of the first Spanish settlement on the Rio de la Plata.
The first impression was that it looks like the Washington Monument. However, this is about 100 meters smaller than the Washington Monument.
When Argentinians have something to celebrate, the Obelisco is where they head. It's ground zero for celebrations after major football victories, when boisterous fans gather at the Obelisco to sing, jump in unison, honk horns and drink beer. Right next to the Obelisco are the famous BA grass letters, making this location a great picture to summarize your time in Buenos Aires. The next step is Plaza de Mayo, a 13-minute walk from Obelisco de Buenos Aires. The Plaza de Mayo is the oldest public square in Buenos Aires and has been the scene of many of the most important events in the city's history. The square is named after the Argentine Revolution, which began on May 25, 1810. Around the square are several important buildings: the Cabildo, the Metropolitan Cathedral where Pope Francis conducted Mass for 20 years. Dominating the Plaza de Mayo, the Casa Rosada, or Pink House, is the seat of the Argentine national government and houses the president's office.
Mass demonstrations are very common at the Plaza de Mayo, and most protests begin in front of the Casa Rosada, and that's why there are always some activities at or around the square.
Day 2. Recoleta Cemetery, Floralis Generica, El Ateneo Grand Splendid, La Boca, Puerto Madero. Today will be a busy day as we have a lot to do. So many important places to visit. Before taking on the busy schedule, we should start from the Recoleta Cemetery. We made a small detour to check out the Basilica of the Blessed Sacrament.
We heard that it's one of the most beautiful churches in Buenos Aires. It is a beautiful church. However, the beauty of the church is hidden in the shade of huge Art Deco Caverna building.
The Basilica is one of the most lavishly decorated churches in the city, with gold and silver works, a French organ from the 1912, important stained glass works, marble and blue granite, bronze and Venetian mosaic ornaments.
Just a few steps away from the Basilica, we encountered this huge egg sculpture. We decided to check it out.
It is the work of one of the most eccentric Argentinian artists, Federico Manuel Peralta Ramos. The sculpture is called Nosotros Afuera, We the Outsiders. Recoleta Cemetery is located in the neighborhood of the same name. Over 6,400 statues, sarcophagi, coffins, and crypts commemorate some of Argentina's most celebrated sons and daughters.
The cemetery is huge and we had trouble finding the entrance. No, we are just trying to find the entrance to the cemetery. We are in the Recoleta Cemetery. We've been walking around for quite a while now and we can still not find the entrance to the cemetery. It is not the entrance to the cemetery. Where is the entrance? The entrada B. Maybe that's the entrance.
The entrance to the cemetery set the scene with its spectacular columns and intricate carvings. Stepping inside is like entering another city. You'll see streets branching off in every direction. As one popular saying goes, it is cheaper to live a whole life of luxury than to be buried at the Recoleta. It contains the graves of notable people, including Eva Evita Perón, presidents of Argentina, Nobel Prize winners, the founder of the Argentina Navy, and a granddaughter of Napoleon. La Recoleta Cemetery's most famous resident is Eva Perón, best known as Evita, and her memorial is the most visited one on the site.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. This is a song from a huge movie of the 1996 about the life of Eva Evita Perón. We had trouble finding the entrance. Now we have trouble finding the Evita tomb. This is like a city, a small city. It's a city of death. Those tombs, they look like proper houses. Wow. Look, there's even a coffin. You can see a coffin.
Maria Eva Duarte, Evita, was the wife of Argentine President Juan Perón and First Lady of Argentina from 1946 until her death in 1952.
She died the 26th of July, 1952. 33 years old, died of uterus cancer. So she's here together with her mother, sister, brother, brother-in-law.
Evita lies in a heavily fortified crypt, some 5 meters underground, to protect her remains. The next stop is the Floralis Generica, a 14-minute walk from Recoleta Cemetery.
Along the way, with huge roads, interesting buildings, parks, and sculptures, we could have the vibe of why the city is called the Paris of Latin America.
Before reaching the Floralis Generica, we came across the Museo Nacional de Bellas Artes. This is Argentina's most important fine art museum, containing many key works by various influential artists.
Just after we entered the museum, there was this wall full of cockroaches. There was actually plastic cockroaches. Yeah, that's art for you.
The Bellas Artes holds the largest collection of Argentine art in the world. We could now see Floralis Generica from afar, beyond this huge building, which is the Facultad de Derecho, the law school.
The modern image of the flower creates a cool contrast with the neoclassic style of the Law University.
Standing within a round pond full of water, Floralis Generica opens to reach a whopping 40 meters in diameter. The Floralis Generica was designed and given to the city by Argentine architect Eduardo Catalano in 2002. Now, one of the most famous sites in Buenos Aires, this giant metal sculpture is also a mechanical flower. The Buenos Aires flower opens and closes its petals with the sun. According to Eduardo Catalano, this movement symbolizes hope reborn every day. Next stop, El Ateneo, a 15-minute metro and bus ride from Floralis Generica. El Ateneo is South America's most opulent bookstore.
This is actually one of the biggest, if not the biggest, bookstore in Latin America. Argentinians are known to be book lovers. No wonder there is such an enormous, breathtaking bookstore in Buenos Aires. This is a huge bookstore. How many books are there in here? It used to be a concert hall, it became a cinema, and now it's a bookstore, so that's why it's so huge.
When it was inaugurated in 1919, the Grand Splendid Theatre was a center for tango. Later, Radio Splendid broadcast tango music from this site, and later still, the Honest Auditorium became the first cinema in Argentina to play movies with sound. Today, the Grand Splendid calls itself an Ateneo, which comes from the Greek term for a place of learning. A particularly thoughtful detail is the in-store cafe, built onto what was once the Tango stage. After the bookstore, we headed to La Boca, a 30-minute bus ride.
La Boca is one of the most talked about neighborhoods in Buenos Aires. Why? Because of the colorful street, the history of tango, or just the football team Boca Juniors.
Often considered the birthplace of tango and located on the southeastern edge of the city along Rio de la Plata, La Boca will take you to the very root of tango, as it's one of the neighborhoods in which this dance originated. Its first inhabitants were mostly Italian immigrants, attracted by the city's sport activity. During the last decades of the 19th century, they built their houses of wood and zinc and painted them with the colors left over from the painting of the ships. This was the source of its colorful and particular appearance that still can be seen today. Caminito. This is one of the most traditional and emblematic passages of the city, with its taverns, convents, painting exhibitions, and tango couples who dance in the streets while being photographed by hundreds of tourists. Furthermore, you'll find La Boca Juniors Stadium. Everybody knows the name Diego Armando Maradona. It came from this team. Boca Juniors is one of the most famous football teams in the world. This team is a great reason to make the people of La Boca very proud. Also, the stadium, known as La Bombonera, is a temple of football. Next stop, Puerto Madero. A 30-minute bus ride from La Boca. Puerto Madero is Buenos Aires' rich prototype of modernity in a city otherwise beloved for its history. The city's newest district, with its sleek high-rises, perfect sidewalks and well-equipped parks, is considered one of the most successful urban waterfront restoration projects in the world. The striking Puente de la Mujer, Bridge of Women, is Puerto Madero's signature monument. The structure has a single mast with cables suspending a portion of the bridge that rotates 90 degrees to allow water traffic to pass. The 102-meter middle section of the 170-meter bridge swings. Known for its European architecture and rich culture, Buenos Aires vibrates with the history and energy brought by numerous European immigrants at the turn of the 20th century. From its numerous museums to its old-time cafes and milongas or dance halls for the seductive tango, Buenos Aires is an urban landscape steeped in tradition but offering modernity that never disappoints.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more. Next time, we are taking you to Colonia, a city in Uruguay. This is like a day trip from Buenos Aires. Till then, keep traveling. See you.